Been concerned with LEGKOV rather than COLOGNA throughout today?
He certainly has. And NORTHUG, he kept an eye on LEGKOV, but now there he is up in fourth. So he's realised the enemy are spent for, so now he's going for the victory and probably will take it again.
Yeah, he's going to be a difficult man to beat if he can get to the top of the second climb on this last lap in this front group of 5. And he'll be delighted that there's now a margin of some 45 metres between himself and the leading group. So the main protagonists at the moment, number 28 for Sweden, Danny Richardsson, SUNDBY in second for Norway. Number 10 looking very strong, Maxim VYLEGZHANIN, don't rule him out at the moment. That pulse rate is still beating away, far too high to be comfortable, but he's capable of holding that. 15 is Eldar ROENNING in fourth place. Not sure ROENNING's got the sprint to beat Petter NORTHUG, and at the back, waiting, watching, is the great Petter NORTHUG, the World Cup leader at the moment, bidding to win the World Cup yet again.
Oh, and he'll want another victory. NORTHUG will absolutely, I think he's had 18, I think it's 18 victories had in his career. And, well, from only 85 starts and 31 times on the podium, he'll want another podium, that's for sure. Richardsson, I think Patrick is going to try and keep this pace strong. The chasing pack are beginning to close it down. Maybe he's backed off a little, but on the next steep climb, Richardsson surely needs 10 metres, 20 metres ahead of NORTHUG if he wants the win.
Nice to see the Italians coming strong, and guess who it is? It's Giorgio Di CENTA. If you think you passed it at 40, think again, because here is Giorgio Di CENTA showing that he is still a world-class act when it comes to cross-country skiing, the most demanding of sports. But I think the key with Giorgio is that he's kept it going. You can't take a couple of years off. You can't take a sabbatical in this game and then come back. Giorgio has turned up on the start line every single season.
20-odd years. Well, he was racing as a junior, so 22 years of top-end racing. That's so impressive, and Di CENTA's only, what, 5 seconds behind?
Yeah, I think he's used up his full quota of heartbeats. I wish him well for the future. Well, what a scenario we have. 6 people now at the front and also trying to bridge the gap. Another of the Norwegians, will identify him in just a second. The Italians also hoping that Pellegrino can make contact with that front group. Roland Clara's not had a bad run today, but all those who worked hard on that fourth lap are starting to suffer. Dario Cologna wearing bib number 16. How far behind is he at the moment, Mike?
I've got him down 15.3, and he's in 15th place, but that is a huge margin at this stage of the race.
SUNDBY has no choice but to keep it going. He's not a sprint merchant, as we saw in the Holmenkollen 50. He looked fantastic up to 45 Ks, Mike, but just didn't have the strength to outski the Russians.
No, and maybe it's SUNDBY who's going to try this next brutal climb and try to get some more separation away from the main challengers. Petter NORTHUG certainly, for me, the finisher, of course.
Well, what a cracking race to take us into the final day of the season. A group of 6 out front, 1 or 2 bidding to get into contact, but maybe this is their last chance. The leader, SUNDBY, safely round that left-hand corner, and now he ups the power as he prepares for the final steep climb here in Falun. And then it's all about sprinting speed when they come back down into the stadium. Will anyone get clear on this climb?
Richardsson wants this so much for himself, for Sweden, and just to make a point ahead of the great Norwegians this season. Richardsson slowing on the base of this climb.
SUNDBY leads, he shortens his stride, tries to get the hips back and the body weight down through the skis to get purchase, and he's going very nicely at the moment. No bonus points this time round. SUNDBY it is who leads ahead of VYLEGZHANIN, and then Richardsson for Sweden in 4th place ahead of Petter NORTHUG, and Giorgio Di CENTA somehow is hanging on in there. Haagen KROGH it is in 7th place at the moment, desperately trying to make contact, and Dietmar Nucle's had a fantastic run for the Italians in 8th position as they go into the final descent. Petter NORTHUG still at the back of the group. He'll wait and he'll wait. He won't want the leaders to get more than 20 metres clear. A little bit of that classic double poling action of Petter NORTHUG's, and he moves up ahead of Richardsson of Sweden, who's starting to fade after 14 kilometres of brilliant work so far. Di CENTA starting to look tired as well.
That's it. VYLEGZHANIN just trying to stay with the pain, and he needs to be technical. His skis are quite good. He's closing the gap a little on SUNDBY.
So SUNDBY leading. VYLEGZHANIN has matched him stride for stride on this last loop so far. Eldar ROENNING for Norway in third position. NORTHUG in fourth. And then RICHARDSSON, is he coming back to life? I don't think so. And CENTA, I think, is going to get stuck into no man's land as they head into the stadium for the final time and the sprint finish. Norway have 1, 2, 3 in the top 4. VYLEGZHANIN trying to take the top spot for Russia. There's no worry for NORTHUG as far as the mini tour title goes, and it's all looking very good for the overall World Cup. But will we see one of his specialized sprint finishes?
He's leaving himself an awful lot of work to do, but you still believe that NORTHUG can do this. He's got some phenomenal pace over such a short distance. SUNDBY's worried, he's looking back. Is NORTHUG spent?
I think NORTHUG might be finished, only 200 meters to go, and it's still SUNDBY who leads, and SUNDBY certainly deserves a victory. Round the final corner, now it's just 150 meters. VYLEGZHANIN of Russia is in the perfect position to attack, and now he goes, but coming on the inside, it's Eldar ROENNING, the tallest of these three, and he's making centimeter by centimeter. 20 meters to go. ROENNING draws alongside VYLEGZHANIN, and it's a reverse of the order when they came round the final corner. ROENNING takes it, VYLEGZHANIN second, and SUNDBY once again is out-sprinted for the glory positions. NORTHUG in fourth, great World Cup points, bonus seconds, of course, over Dario Cologna. Maybe the season is over. We'll wait and see what margin NORTHUG picks up. A brilliant finish, but SUNDBY maybe just put himself in a position to be shot at.
SUNDBY third. Unbelievable. I can't believe the pace that ROENNING, he's not a renowned finisher, and he found something special today. He really wanted this one. Great job.
LEGKOV down in 15th, 25 seconds given away, and no bonus seconds won by NORTHUG. So LEGKOV is now 147 adrift of Petter NORTHUG. He's not going to make that back over 15Ks.
No, and the overall World Cup points is looking a fantastic day for Petter NORTHUG to take the overall title.
So double victory for Norway yet again. In the men's, it was Eldar ROENNING, 50 World Cup points, and you can see what that means to him. It was a good race tactically as much as anything else.
He saved it. He didn't put himself at the front to be shot at. He kept himself just watching the weaknesses of those around him, and it worked. 11, a strong finish from Skua Rota. He broke that ski pole very early on and was at the very back of the pack. And that's good comeback to 27th.
Toby Angra 118 behind Hjaerdalen, who featured on the third lap, finally pushed down into 29th.
Johnsrud, I think the second of the Swedes, Johnsrud, he managed the top 10, so 9th position again for Emil Johnsrud, the sprinter.
Well, that's the first win for Eldar ROENNING since he won the 50K in Oslo last year. Great strength by Eldar ROENNING. Let's have another look at the sprint. He was, what, 5-6 meters behind going around the final corner. He knew exactly what he had to do. That's an advantage. SUNDBY, again, is he going to be working on his sprint finish?
Oh, he will. That's twice he's been caught in the last 30 meters. And I think that VYLEGZHANIN, well, as soon as he went past SUNDBY, he thought the race was his, and then he wasn't expecting ROENNING coming to his left. He didn't see it coming at all.
A good run from VYLEGZHANIN. So the Oslo 50-kilometer champion from 2012 becomes the Falun 15-kilometer classic champion here in Sweden. I'm not sure ROENNING's going to be in a strong position to finish in the top 3 tomorrow, because freestyle is not his forte. He knew that today was if he was going to have a good day this weekend, today would be it.
Oh, and he put everything into that. But when we look at SUNDBY, remember, he was mainly a great classic skier, less so in the freestyle. He's turned that around in a couple of summers.
Theodor Pedersen gets good applause as he comes up the home straight, finishing just behind Thomas Northug. Thomas Northug worked very hard in the early stages to try and get points and protect his brother's position in the standings. He did a good job. He's still a young man. What is he, 21, 22? I think in a couple of years' time we'll see whether he has the making to match his brother's achievements. But I think initial impressions would be it's going to be tough.
It's going to be, I think so. I think he will win a World Cup, and who knows, different athletes, different people progress at different rates in this sport when it comes to getting their first podium. Just at the German team, TSCHARNKE, great performance, came 14th. But I think overall, the German team are another of those teams who will be disappointed with their performances. Angerer 26th. And we saw Fjellbrich down some 3:30 behind. Dotzler 35th. Roenning on the right-hand side. That's again doing the Northug reach high, dropping the body through the ski poles.
Not only was it a strong finish, but it was a brilliantly timed finish as well. If Kowalczyk had had the same skills, she certainly would have done a little better this morning and got herself some bonus seconds. So the 30-year-old Eldar Roenning shows his classic prowess once again, and there is no doubt that in Norway, if you want to be popular, you've got to be good at the classic style.
And you could see on the base of Roenning's skis, the silver clister, probably about, what, 30, 35 centimeters spread of that sticky clister, or very grippy clister on the base.
Devon Kershaw just finishing for Canada. So we saw a clean sweep in the women's race for Norway this morning. They get 3 in the top 4 in the men's. VYLEGZHANIN spoiling the party a little bit, but it's good for international skiing that VYLEGZHANIN has got himself right up there. 0.1 outside. Not a bad season for VYLEGZHANIN. He, of course, won earlier on in the season. He won the Oberhof Tour de Ski 15K, and he won in Kuusamo as well, right at the beginning of the year in November.
And always strong. With the biggest surprise for me today, normally when you see VYLEGZHANIN on the result sheet, LEGKOV is not far ahead or behind him, but LEGKOV, well, 15th position today, and I think he'll be disappointed with that. It's only 25 seconds behind, though.
Michael Sumpy of Canada just cruising up the home straight, finding he couldn't stay with the pace early on, but he's survived, and he will get to race tomorrow. 6:14 behind. They'll have a wave start. Northug is going to be the first away, and I hope they can calculate the positions and all the bonus seconds that have been won today, so we know exactly what to expect tomorrow. I think the women's could be a little bit of a procession. Marit Bjørgens, by our calculations, has earned herself some 47, 48 seconds. Let's have a look at the results today. 43.26, the winning time for 15K. That's not particularly quick.
It's not. It's been a testing course. Those 2 kilometers, 2.3 kilometers of climb from the stadium. It's a huge amount of climbing and quick recovery back to the stadium.
Lukas Bauer, 22. Toby Angerer, another of the experienced men on the tour, 1:18 behind, but he has beaten Marcus Hellner, and he's beaten Tordar Hirdalen as well. Alex Harvey again unable to make an impression. I think Alex needs to get his feet up, have a good long rest before the start of next year.
Babikov as well, 41st position.
Well, what a race and what a day for Norway. Eldar Roenning takes the win. Helle VYLEGZHANIN, Sundby pushed down into 3rd in the final meters, and Petter Northug in 4th. Well, of course, we have one more day to go. The women go off first. They'll be out of bed and preparing nice and early in the morning. 10-kilometer free technique. It's a chasing start, so those who lead this World Cup final tour will start first, and it will be Marit Bjørgen who is first across that start line. Will she come home to claim the 200 points? It's looking very likely at the moment. And the men going a little later on in the day, it will be Petter Northug who starts once again for Norway.